Guys, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you all.
First of all, thank you all for being here as well. My name is Rachel Perkins. I'm an adult programming coordinator. Kathryn Kauffman. All the way from Lexington, joining us here tonight.
Tonight's show is going to be really good. We're going to do life path numbers, and we're going to go over what it means. I had somebody the other night ask me what we were going to do, and I told them life path number, and they could look up how to get their life path number, but they couldn't find what it actually meant. I am going to drop a link in the comments section to my YouTube channel, and if you guys want to watch any past shows, they will be right at that link, and all you have to do is pop on there, subscribe, and go through the listing of the past shows. Special shout out to Melissa Begley and her sidekick Miss Cleo. Big kisses to you guys. Special shout out up north to Corey Southworth. Love you, girl. Hey to Christy Glass, Patty O'Brien, and let's see, Ruby Greenwell, William Bowles, Amanda Kinney, Laura Walters. Thanks for joining me tonight. Hey to all you guys over here on Instagram, and thanks for joining us. I want to do a couple of quick shout outs before we get into our content tonight. So a lot of you have been following me on the Charles Chucky fan film. Filming is now pretty much at an end. They've pretty much wrapped all the major stuff up, and just need to, wrap up some odds and ends, and then editing is going to start. I'm so excited. So hop on Tony Biz's Facebook page and tell him to get to the editing, everybody. Let's get Tony on this and get the editing done and get us a show on the road. Hey to Christy Summers, Greta Vinoy. Special shout out to Crystal Crazy and Barbara Bacon. And all you guys that are over there on the professional page. The page that I'm interacting with, the chat, is on the personal page. So I did leave a link there on the professional page, and you can join us here on the personal page if you want to engage in the chat. So this is the only time I'm going to hop over and look at the professional page. Shout out to Anissa and Taya. If you guys want to join in on the live chat, hit that link up there and come on over to the personal page. And hey to Jess Moser and Kim Asher. Now, another shout out goes out to Wicked World Scaregrounds is now open. And it is the absolute best haunted house in this area. And as a matter of fact, and a lot of people don't know, it is made up of 3 different attractions. So there's something for everybody there. If you have little kids and then you want to do the adult thing, you can satisfy both cravings there at Wicked World Scaregrounds. And they are open now. Hey to Pamela Thompson and Pamela Downey. Thanks for joining us for tonight's topic. I also wanted to explain about the paranormal alerts that we've had, because the last one I posted, and I think it was Sunday. I am still getting calls, you guys. I have had at least 4 more calls since Sunday. The same type of things being visualized, a lot of poltergeist activity, shadow people, and a lot of electrical disturbances. And so we need to kind of keep each other informed on this kind of thing. If you're having something going on at your house and you need some advice on it, feel free to message me here on Facebook or text me at 859-327-9305. Hey to Charlotte Northcutt and Laura Cottle Harris. Hey over here on Instagram to Claire, Paula, and I'm waiting for Joy to pop on there if she can join us this evening on Instagram. I hope she can. So tonight's topic is how to find and calculate your life path number, and what does it mean? Now tonight, well, the last time we did this on the expression number, we kind of jumped around to different numbers as people were calculating them, but I'm going to go through these 1 through 9. So if you miss your number, just rewind. It's easy to do. Just hit the rewind button, okay? So how do we calculate the life path number? And it is the most important number of your essence, okay? The last program we did, the expression number, which is kind of how you are formulating your life, what you're doing with your energy. But the life path number actually is in a series of 3 different periods, okay? 3 different cycles or 3 different periods. So the first period cycle is based on the reduction of the number of your birth month. Okay, that is your first cycle. The second cycle comes from the reduced day of the birthday. And the third cycle comes from the reduced number of the birth year. And so what you will want to do is take a look at your life in 3 different cycles and assign the number that's reduced to that first cycle, second cycle, or third cycle, and then take these numbers that I'm going to tell you about and apply it to that. So you not only have your total life path number, but then you also have your first cycle, first period, second cycle, second period, third cycle, third period number. Now remember, the first cycle is the month reduction. The second cycle is the day, birthday reduction. And the third cycle is the year reduction. So Taya wants to know, what if you have January month? January month is 0, 1, and you just add 0 and 1, and the reduction is 1. So you set that aside, and then you add your birth date together. Let's say it's the 25th of January. So you're going to add 5 and 2, and the reduction is 7. And let's say you were born in 1971. 7 and 1 is 8. 1 and 9 is 10, which is 1, and 1 and 8 is 9. So the reduction of the year, or the third cycle, is 9. Then you're going to add the 9, the 7, and the 1. And that reduction is the life path number, but the separate numbers are the cycles, or the things that cycle through your life, the periods that cycle through your life. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you were born October the 10th. Let's say you were born October the 12th, 1936. So the month or first cycle is 1 and 0, okay, which reduces to 1. So the first cycle is the number 1. The second cycle is the birth date, which was 12. So you're going to add 1 and 2 together and reduce it to the number 3. So the second cycle of your life is equative to the resonance of 3. Now, the third cycle, or the year of your birth, 1936, reduces to the following: 1 plus 9 plus 3 plus 6 equals 19. And then you reduce it even further by adding 1 and 9. That equals 10, and you reduce that even further. The 10 reduces to 1. So the third cycle in your life is resonant and equal to the number 1. Hope you're following me on this. It's not really that hard when you sit down and calculate it out. So now remember when we were talking about expression numbers, that if you find yourself reducing to a master number, you need to stop, master numbers are 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. And if you get those in your reduction, then you stop reducing. That's a master number. If you want to know what the master numbers mean, they're on the video for the expression, calculating your expression numbers. There's a whole we discussed all about the master numbers and what they meant. So if you need a link to that video, just let me know, or go onto my YouTube channel, which the link is over there in the comments. Just go to the YouTube video and go for the video on how to calculate your expression number and watch that. Hey to Trina and Zoe and Tasha, thanks for joining us. Okay, so now that you guys are calculating your life path number, I'm going to start to go over what is the number 1 all about? Like, what is the life path number 1 and what does it mean? And these are going to be brief because I want to be able to get through all 9 numbers. So life path number 1 is a leader. They have a lot of independence. They have a need for personal attainment, like to succeed, to achieve. They have a lot of creative inspiration. They have a lot of drive to accomplish things. And they love to get out of their comfort zone and to step out of the box. And they love to be strong and daring and do things that other people don't do. And they're classically the people that say, why not? Why can't we do that? Why not? And then they go for it and do it. Hey to Paige Denise and see you, Melissa. Let me check for questions over here on Instagram. Shout out to AJ Russ, Jerry, Frank, and I think it says Tulu Bob. Thanks for joining us. If you guys have a question, just type it in the comments. I'll try to watch for those. So back to the number 1. These are people who are innovative, and they could be inventors because they're constantly saying, why not? Let's figure out if we can do it. They're very ambitious, very assertive. They are self-promoters, so they're really good at raising money. Now, there's a negative side to life path number 1 as well. So the flip side to that is, in order to get to the top or to succeed or have success, they do have trouble following another leader to get there because they don't follow very well because they want to be in the lead. So they can also be kind of selfish, egotistical, a little bossy, and somewhat demanding of other people, and they don't understand why other people can't do what they're doing. Hey to Greta Vanoy. Okay, so let's look at life path number 2. So number 2 means that you're an empath, you're a fixer, you're a mediator, very diplomatic. You can see both sides of the situation and you get people together to see the same view. Okay, so you're very intuitive, you're a deep thinker, you want to delve into the mysteries of everything and look at all the different facets. You're a good mediator because you can see all the viewpoints of an argument or situation. So you really kind of excel in teamwork, pulling teams together, like maybe a team leader under a main leader. And you bring people together in group activities well and kind of delegate the movement of the group. So you've got a lot of vision as far as leading people in smaller groups and a lot of talent. Now, on the negative side of number 2, there's a lot of nervous energy and maybe even some nervous tension that are involved on the negative side of number 2. You can be a little bit oversensitive, but that's probably because of the empathic qualities that you have. And you can struggle against like indecisiveness, not really sure of yourself when it's just you. It's easier to see for other people and fix for other people than it is for yourself. Special shout out to Megan Shepard, Leah Plack, and my good buddy Rob. Thanks for joining me. And if you wouldn't mind to watch the comments and make sure we don't have any trolls that appear on here. And if we do, just kick them right out. So let's get into life path number 3. So if your life path number calculates down to a number 3, you have a really strong sense of creativity, ingenious expression. This type of person wants to live life to the fullest and throw caution to the wind. Doesn't worry about tomorrow. But you really connect with people at a deep level. You're very warm and very friendly. Your disposition is open and sunny and lighthearted with people. Now, the flip side or the negative side to a number 3 is when you're hurt, you really retreat into deep, dark depression for a little while. And this can go on for an extended period of time until your friends say enough and they make you get out of it. So life path 3, you have kind of a problem controlling the highs and the lows on the emotional scale with your life. So you really have to rein that in and take control of the empathic emotions. Let me check for questions. Hey to Jennifer Hickerson. Life path number 4, personality and setup with trustworthy, practical. These people are very down to earth. They're very grounded. They can see what needs to be done. And they're sort of like the building blocks of society. So they can achieve a lot of success and prestige. And these are people that can eventually become famous if they're willing to work for it. But as with number 1, I think it was, the ability, they have to have the ability to take orders and follow instead of wanting to lead. But they make very good entrepreneurs and managers, supervisors, and things like that. So they're really good at organizing and planning and seeing the big picture. And they're extremely loyal and devoted in their personal relationships. The flip side of negatives on number 4 is they can be a little excessive because they're pushed to succeed or become famous. They kind of, like number 1s, they expect everybody else to do that too. So they're a little bit excessive, a little bit narrow-minded, and they can repress people that are around them. Life path number 5, these are people who have a really progressive mindset. They're very adventuresome, naturally versatile. They really want to pursue freedoms, and they're always striving to answer questions of, what's life about? Kind of like one of the other numbers of the meditator. I think that was the number 2, the mediator. They're very compassionate and very communicative with other people. They do motivate people around them, and their motivation is to such an extent that they make extremely excellent salespeople and can, sell you a pair of shoes in 30 seconds. So these people are extremely good at motivating you. So I would equate this to somebody like Tony Robbins that can motivate a lot of people. That's kind of this life path number 5. Now, the flip side, the negatives that go with number 5 is they hate routines and they hate being bored. And so they're not really good at everyday tasks. They want to have their work be entertaining and fulfilling. And their love of adventure and the thrill of certain things can kind of dominate a relationship or the life. And so the negatives that go along with the number 5 is they're really restless, kind of dominating, discontent, and they can be really impulsive. Hey to Rhonda, Gale, and Steve. Thanks for joining us this evening. Okay, so if your life path number reduces to a 6, this is what you resonate at. So number 6s are the ultimate nurturer. And they really go by what's true, not only the truth of things, but what is true for them. So they're very idealistic, and they have to be needed to feel happy. So they have to be a part of family or friends to feel like, they're fulfilling their purpose, and they're always offering their service to home, family, and friends. So number 6 is somebody you definitely want on your team in life. Now, the problem with number 6s is they will willingly carry more than their share, and that can work against them, because the flip side of number 6 is they carry so much for other people that they get overwhelmed with other people's responsibilities. Sometimes, or a lot of people will take advantage of them, and they sort of become slaves to these other people in the family. These can be family or friends even. And so they tend to be too hard on themselves because they feel like they should be able to handle this. And they have trouble seeing that they're taking on too much. Hey to Sean. So that's number 6. The life path number 7 evaluates situations really well. They have a gift for analysis, for investigation, picking things apart, analyzing how things should be or how things should go together. So they have a very keen observation. So these are really good for investigators, detectives. They have a high standard of performance for themselves. The flip side to a number 7 is they can be real loners and feel very lonely, because a lot of people don't get the complexity of their thought process, and it's hard for them to relate to people that don't have that analytical mind. And for this keen analysis and observation, they sometimes need a lot of alone time to be able to have enough quiet to work out these problems in their mind. So it can be difficult to be around a number 7, just because you don't know when to come around, when to talk to them, and when to leave them alone. And they have a tendency to isolate and then become loners and get very lonely. So the negative use of number 7 is they can be really pessimistic, lackadaisical, quarrelsome, secretive, and really feel quite lonely, but it's from their own need for isolation that this happens. Hey to Judy Burkett Roberts, thanks for joining me. I'm going to hop over to the professional page really quick and make sure there are no questions there. So you guys over here on the professional page, Dana, Brenda, hey to you guys, Sharon, and so Brenda Joe, yes, we just went over your 7, so I'm glad you were on here. Okay, back to the numbers. We're going to go over life path number 8. So life path number 8 is a person who directs, organizes, and they kind of govern things. They have a real knack and penchant for organizational approaches, how to put things together, efficiency, what's the best way to do this. Now, the bad thing about number 8s is they can be workaholics. And so when you're in a relationship with a number 8, you really got to rein those people in and make sure that they have expectations and limitations that you have to have for your relationship. And their goals are really hardy with their hard work. They want to make achievements. They want to have the honors. They want to have the notoriety, only because they want people to remember who they are. And so they're really good in business world or politics. And now the flip side to the negative to a number 8 is they can be a little dictatorial with you and kind of suppress enthusiasm that's around you, because they want to take the efficient approach. So they're not going to just go on a vacation because it's fun. They do have a sense of isolation and loneliness because they are workaholics and they're so dedicated to their jobs that it's really hard to rein them in and slow them down. Now, here's the life path number 9. And we went over what I was and what David was. Now, I calculated David's out, and he is a number 1, and I am a number 9, according to the reduction. And also on the expression number, I was a number 9. So it's pretty much the same meaning. So number 9 suggests that you have a strong sense of compassion and generosity, and a lot of humanitarian attitudes about life, and extremely compassionate tendencies. So number 9s are very trustworthy, they're honorable, and they do not harbor any source of prejudice, that all they see everybody on the same table. So they're kind of hard to deal with because they expect other people to be the same. And so they can be very generous to a fault. And the flip side, or the downside to a number 9, is that they are so very generous that they give everything away. And so they can never get ahead because they're constantly giving and not requiring anything back. So their selflessness and their realities can be a little challenging, because, like I said, they expect other people to have this same idealistic view, and we just don't. We don't match. So they can be taken advantage of quite a lot because they are so very generous. So Laura says she's a 9. Hey, you're in good company, Laura. So am I. And Paige says, I have to watch again. I missed the part on how to get your life number. So Paige, how to get your life path number, we're going to go over this one more time, is you're going to take the month. Okay. So let's say your birth month is October. You're going to add 1 and 0, reduce it to 1. Now you're going to look at the day. Let's say your birth date is 25th of October. You're going to add 2 and 5 and reduce it to a 7. And then you're going to take the year and reduce that to a single number. And then you're going to take those 3 numbers and add those and reduce them even further. And that gives you the life path number. Now, remember on the previous video, when we did the expression number, that was calculated using a Pythagorean chart using your birth name, your first name, middle name, and birth last name. And so that gives you your expression number, or what's the expression of your life doing? What's the essence of your life doing? What's the path that you're taking, your expression? But the life path number is what you've been set up with, how you're being challenged, what things do you have to accomplish? That's the life path number. Remember, it's split into 3 different categories. The first cycle is the month. The second cycle of your life is the day, birth day. And the third cycle of your life is the birth year. And those reduce down into the single number. And then you can look up the single number, or just rewind this video back and find out what each cycle of your life is trying to teach you. What lessons were you set up for in each cycle of your life? For example, the first cycle of your life is like birth until early adulthood. The second cycle of your life is early adulthood to middle adulthood. And then the last cycle of your life is middle adulthood to late adulthood. So those are the lessons that you're having to learn during that time. Now, so number 9s, number 9s are selfless to a fault, and we have to be shown that we don't need to give everything away, and we need to require. One of the challenges for a number 9 is to require that people give back. And that's a hard one. That's a hard one when you're used to giving. Hey to Monica and Sandra, thanks for joining us tonight. So if you missed your number, just rewind the video. As always, I'm going to put this on the YouTube channel. And I want to go over something that we're going to talk about next week, because I've gotten 2 calls in the last week on this, and this is very unusual. So I figured, we need to do a show about it. And that's kind of what these shows are for, is to bring up things that people ask me. And I know that you guys out there in viewing land, you wonder the same thing. And so that's the purpose of these shows, is to just let's educate each other and enjoy it and have a good time on Monday night, because Mondays are so dreary. Let's do something fun. And so that's what we're doing here on Monday night. We're exploring things. But I've gotten 2 calls in the last week on kids and mediumship. So the parents called me and asked, my child is 5. They're exhibiting mediumship abilities and they're really uncomfortable with this. Why is this happening? And what am I going to do about it? Now, these are little kids, and they're big concerns, because it's scary enough for adults. Think of what the kid is going through. Bad, huh? So I try to educate the parents on things that they can do, and we're going to go over that next Monday night. And if you know of anybody who might be going through something like that, just share the video with that family, because it can really avoid a lot of angst and anxiety and struggle and just feeling like they're vulnerable. So Sheila says, I think I did mine right. I'm not sure. I like what my number is, though. Well, good. You probably did it right. You just reduce everything down to a single number. Now, if you reduce it to a master number, 11, 22, or 33, you're going to have to go back to watch expression numbers to find out what the master numbers mean, because they're totally different than these other numbers. Yes, Robert, that is the kids being mediums as an intense issue. And so that's a show that definitely needs done. And for those of you guys that, let me check for no questions over here on Instagram. That's good. For those of you guys that are empaths that work with crystals, in Lexington area, I recommend Barbara Bacon's Crystal Crazy Shop, and you can grab her in the comments below and ask her about how to get some really awesome gemstones. If you're living in the Louisville area, Moonstruck is who I refer to in the Louisville area. And if you live in Illinois, there's a really great place called Minas Gerais Crystallis, and they have a fabulous shop there. And get you a link to that if you're in Illinois. And don't forget to get out and go to Wicked World and have some fun. If you guys notice, I put up the Halloween backdrop for you guys. Yes, absolutely. Barbara says the crystals help kids feel better, and we're going to go over which ones they need to use in next week's show. And maybe Barbara will help me with that. Awesome, Barbara. So Taya says, my son talks about people that have passed as if he knew them well. Now, there's a good reason for that, Taya, and so watch next week's show, and you can find out more about what you can do to help him out. And maybe me and Barbara will collab on some gemstones that the kids can use as well. I have my ideas on, but I can always learn some other things, and maybe there are other things I don't know of that Barbara can help me with, and we can help a lot of kids. Hey to Tara. So you guys have a fabulous week. Enjoy the cooler weather. Get out your sweaters and start compiling your fall clothes, because it's here. And I will see you next week for Kids as Mediums. Kisses from Kentucky. See you later, guys.